Welcome back to All Day. The NFL free agency is now officially underway, and of course the big question is, what are the Vikings going to do, especially with the quarterback position? We're going to bring in our Ahmad Hicks coming in. We were talking basketball last week, back to football this week. Ahmad, good to see you again. Well, let's start here with the Vikings and the quarterback position, and Kyler Murray. The Vikings are kind of pegged as one of the prime teams where he could land. I mean, what do you think?
I think that's a good option for them. Certainly not the best. I don't think he's one of those guys that just comes in and you're like, pencil him in for a Super Bowl or a Lombardi trophy or anything like that, but definitely better than what they had this past season. He's also one of those guys that will be getting a lot of money since he's getting cut by the Arizona Cardinals, so the Vikings wouldn't have to pay him a ton. So everyone keeps asking, what are the Vikings going to do at the quarterback position? That's a $1.5 million question right there. So if the Vikings can get him for relatively a friendly team number, then maybe he is your guy, and maybe he does build a connection with Justin Jefferson, but still to be seen right now. Still some numbers to be crunched, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, this is the day when the time period when money talks in the NFL here. As you said, as he's getting cut by Arizona, they still have to do a lot of the parts of his contract that they are responsible to pay. So again, that helps the Vikings with the bottom line here. And the Vikings have got some contract restructuring that they got to work on too, right? With some of the salary cap issues.
Well, I wouldn't say something that they have to work on. That's something Brzezinski's been hard at work at. I mean, he's restructured a lot of guys' contracts already. T.J. Hockenson, he took a pay cut just to stick around here in Minnesota. He restructured the contract of Christian Darrisaw and Justin Jefferson. So they've been hard at work trying to get under that that salary cap, number that they had to be at. They put a low tender contract on Ivan Pace Jr., so they're able to keep him around at a relatively good number for the team. I mean, he's doing a really, really good job seeing where they were at the start of free agency.
Yeah, I mean, last year, remember, the Vikings went out and spent a lot of money in free agency, and they don't have that kind of option this year, do they?
No, absolutely not. For people sitting at home like, why haven't the Vikings done anything? Well, they don't have a ton of money to go out and go do things. The guys that they already have on their team are making a ton of money as is. So you have to kind of go out there and make something happen with very limited resources. So they did go out and get a cornerback, James Pierre. He's a guy that's coming over from Pittsburgh. He was undrafted in 2020, probably played, well, I won't say played under Brian Flores, but crossed paths with Brian Flores when he was there in Pittsburgh for 1 year. So a guy who's familiar with Flores and his system probably, and he's good at man-to-man. He can play zone as well, but he's fast. He reminds me of an Isaiah Rodgers type guy, who can just go out there and run with the other team's best wide receivers. So that's a good addition for this secondary to go with Byron Murphy Jr. and Isaiah Rodgers. A nice addition, someone hopefully who can stay on the field more than Jeff Okudah did last year.
Well, let's talk about now somebody the Vikings have lost, and that's wide receiver Jalen Nailor.
Yeah, that's one of those positions where it's like, if you don't draft a wide receiver each and every year and just develop them and groom them to what you need to be, you're going to have to go out and go spend some money, because these guys get paid a ton of money in the offseason because quarterbacks get paid $40, $50 million a year. They need somebody to throw to. And Tom Brady running things down there in Las Vegas, and they're expected to draft Fernando Mendoza with the #1 overall pick. So you need somebody to catch the ball for him. Jalen Nailor goes there. He goes back home, actually. That's where he was born and raised and things like that. So a little familiar territory for him. And so the Vikings will be in the market for a wide receiver 3. They believe in Ty Felton, but he didn't play a lot last year, who they drafted. So they're going to have to find somebody in this year's draft, that's for sure.
All right, and another price tag here where money talks is a big splash here is that Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker headed to the Chiefs. At Seattle, I mean, you'd think, well, we just won the Super Bowl, I want to stay here, but clearly the check was much bigger in Kansas City.
Yeah, once you get that ring, it's time to go get paid. Now it's no more loyalty to the team. It's like, all right, I got what I was a team first guy. I did what I had to do. I got my ring. I said I did it. Now I got to go get paid, get set up for life. So that's what Kenneth Walker went and did. You hate to see it, honestly, from a football fan. Last thing we want to see is the Kansas City Chiefs just getting better offensively, getting more weapons for Patrick Mahomes so they can make another run to the Super Bowl. Yet here we are year after year. The Chiefs are always getting somebody good. But no, happy for him. Good addition for them. them. It's that time of year, Rob, where a lot of guys get paid. They cash in for what they've done the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's what pushes them, motivates them to keep piling up the stats and the wins, et cetera, is that's going to come out in the form of cash. Lastly here, Ahmad, as we go through this, turning our attention back to the Vikings, what are the biggest things then right now that you are going to be watching for this team to do?
They got to figure out the center position. They have to figure out the center position, especially when you look at the signings the Bears have made today, the splash they made in free agency. They got Kobe Bryant from the Seahawks talking about winning a Super Bowl ring and then moving on to go get paid. They also got Devin Bush, a linebacker from Cleveland. And they also got Neville Gallimore, a defensive tackle, a big beefy guy in the middle. So, the Bears are setting themselves up to run this division for years to come. So now you got to be able to stop their defensive line. You got to be able to protect whoever plays quarterback here, because if you don't protect the quarterback, well, now we're back in the same old storyline that's been circulating the last couple of years. So yeah, you got to find a center. I believe that's the number one priority.
Number one. Okay, Ahmad, thanks, good to see you again. Sorry your trip to Indy didn't go better.
It's okay. We have the NCAA tournament. I'm working on a show right now, the Go for Coaches show, and we're gearing up for the tournament. So hopefully they can host at Williams Arena. We'll talk about that in the next couple of days when Selection Sunday happens.
Okay. Ahmad, appreciate it. See you later.
No doubt.
All right, there you go. Ahmad keeping an eye on NFL free agency. All right.